Stocks tumbling Friday after the Federal Reserve hiked interest rates yet again, and recession fears grow.
And the Dow falls to its lowest point since November 2020, with big banks warning the U.S. economy could be entering stagflation.
The most important thing is to avoid stagflation. Stagflation is the most damaging to every part of society, every industry, all income levels. And therefore, I think it's important to get our hands around inflation as quickly as possible.
Here with his take, Stuart Varney, host of Varney and Company and American Build on Fox Business. Absolutely terrifying. It really, truly is, because projections are even worse for where we could be headed.
Correct.
I think we need to start with this. Would you define stagflation?
The economy is slowing or contracting, but inflation runs strong. So the economy contracts, you've still got inflation, you're stagnating, inflation, stagflation. Look, let's not put too sugary a coat on this. I think we're going over a cliff. I think we're headed towards recession if we're not already in one, and inflation is going to stay strong. And I have to say, this is on President Biden. Right from day one, he was the president who abandoned America's energy independence. On day one, and energy prices went up. That's inflationary. He then spent $1.9 trillion, just chucked it into the economy in 2021. That is inflationary. That's 10% of America's economy in cash, chucked out there. That's obviously inflationary. I mean, and everybody's standard of living is falling. Wages up 8% during the Biden presidency, inflation up 12%. We're all going backwards. And the stock market rout has routed your 401k.
I know.
Every single, 100 million Americans have exposure to the stock market largely through IRAs and 401ks. All of those people have lost 1/3 of their money since the highs of the stock market in November of last year. A declining standard of living for all and a declining pension money for those people who are about to retire.
So you don't feel like the Federal Reserve raising rates is going to be enough?
Enough?
I don't know. I mean, what impact will it have? I guess
the Federal Reserve, they are raising rates dramatically. That will create an even worse recession than the one we've already got. Stagflation will, in fact, get worse. Whether it ends inflation or not, that's an entirely different story. But think what's happening, what is about to happen. President Biden has passed this gigantic anti-inflation act, which is really a climate act.
Yep.
That is tax and spend in extremes. And that's what we're about to do.
Yeah.
So as the economy is about to slide down and inflation is still very much with us, we're taxing people and spending up by trillions. It makes no sense.
It doesn't make any sense. And it's all about the climate. I mean, you pointed it out so precisely. The first thing he did was declare a war on American energy. As we know, that oil and gas have inputs in everything that we produce and use. So I guess what should people do at this point, knowing that this cliff is coming, that you're saying? How can they prepare for this?
It's extremely difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
You change your spending habits, less luxury items, more buying in bulk. Did you see that Costco the other day, the buy in bulk kings, their sales went up 10%? Well, that's pretty extraordinary. Yeah. The obvious story is that people are buying in bulk to get the price down. That's what most consumers are doing.
But it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt the small business guy. I was just reading about barbers. Barbers are saying people are extending their hair, so they're not getting their haircuts on the regular as they used to do. I mean, this is people cut back, but then that hurts the little guy who has a little shop like that.
Inflation hurts everybody. It filters down throughout the entire economy. People change their buying and spending habits. Businesses change their habits. It has a profound impact, and it's not good.
Really quickly, Stuart, this is what worries me as well. So if I think back in history, you got the late 1970s, the Carter administration. Then you have Morning in America. You have the 1980s, and the stock market and the economy comes rebounding back. We have 2009. We have the housing economy recession. And then the Fed starts printing money, and the economy comes roaring back in whatever we call the teens. Both situations, though, involve the Fed printing money to juice the economy on the backs of those periods of time. That tool has kind of been used.
Yeah.
So in other words, if we go into this recession, right, and then we have some policy changes, we have a Republican administration, whatever it may be, right, and Morning in America comes back, we can't keep printing money to do that.
No, but how do we fix it? What we could do is cut taxes.
Yeah.
The way you push money into the private economy is to cut taxes and cut spending.
And regulations.
But we
And
never
regula-
cut spending.
Yes, but we're not going to do
never
that.
cut spending.
This administration will never cut taxes, will never cut spending, and will never change the regulatory environment. You've got to wait until 2025 to get something really going. And it may be a repeat of Ronald Reagan in the early 1980s, coming out of the Carter years, who really gives us morning in America and growth again.
Right.
That's what you want above all, growth.
The Trump economy turned around, and under Trump, it took 2 years.
All the gains of working people made under Trump have been lost under Biden.
Yeah.
There you go. Stuart Varney, one of the best. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Love
Great
you.
to see you.